Casey McDaniel coming to you with this conversation. I just was going through some of my YouTube channels and seeing what's taking place, of course, surrounding Robert Sylvester Kelly. And some of the things that were being discussed was so interesting. I have a lot of catching up to do. Y'all have to bear with me. I'm behind schedule in a lot of talk surrounding Robert Sylvester Kelly. And the reason that is happening, because like I said, it was the holidays, then my birthday, and then my car has been totaled by my hubby, and we've been, carpooling or what you want to call it, car sharing, because the rental is too expensive to take a rental every week and to use it for whatever we have to use it for. So we just use whatever car we have at the house right now. But I just, decided I'm going to take public transportation just so I can just use another way of transportation to get around here. And sometimes I just want to get around and talk to people or whatever. And that's my way of just interacting with people, especially talking about things that's right now taking place with Robert Sylvester Kelly. So I get to meet people on the street and have a conversation with them, like talk and ride, on the bus, or talk and stand by the bus stop or whatever, go inside the store, have a conversation with somebody. And this is my way of bringing awareness around what's going on around Robert Sylvester Kelly in this small city and state that I live in. But anyway, back to our topic. Is Azeriel Cleary trying to get back with Robert Sylvester Kelly, or she's being remorseful? And what I mean is she cleansing herself? Is she feeling bad for the things that she has said about him that weren't true? And oh God, this is why I don't like doing this stuff on my phone. Always something going on. But anyway, is she being remorseful? Like she's trying to just cleanse herself of some of the things that she might have said and done to hurt this man's reputation, say some horrible, nasty things about him while he's been, kicked down, and he's in right now detention. And when the feds came and got him, and all of a sudden she switched up on him when she was first on Gayle King, saying all these things about Gayle King. You shouldn't be questioning what I do in my bedroom. What I do is not none of your business. And she was defending him, and she's was also saying some other things when she went in front of the camera, doing all of this gyrating and dressing up and showing off her new body to the public or whatever. Anyway, and then went and caused all that ruckus over there at Robert Sylvester Kelly's penthouse, or where he lived at the time of his arrest. She went there to, put on a scene with Joycelyn, fighting and carrying on, whatever. But I'm just saying that, we've seen her do a lot of stuff during the takedown of Robert Sylvester Kelly, and when she came to the public and she started switching up on him and acting out of order. She started becoming a totally different being. She became a new creature, and she just came out being reckless and all that other stuff that she started doing, saying things that he making her eat poop and other things. I can't. It's a list of things that Azeriel did, and I don't really follow her. I just get what I can from what other people say that she's out there doing, and sometimes I see an article might pop up in a discussion about her, but I don't really go on her chats or go into any of her social media accounts, or follow her on any Instagram, Twitter, or even here on YouTube. If she do have a YouTube channel, I don't know. If she has a Patreon account, I don't know. I just know what I get from when I'm on here is what I find out about what she's doing. But I don't know if she was ever a girlfriend. I think she was always just an intern working on her music craft and looking to work with one of the best, greatest artists out there, Robert Sylvester Kelly, to make her shine even more greater if she was to ever make it big in the music world, in the music industry. It is what it is. But my title was, of course, is Azeriel trying to get with R. Kelly, or is she just being remorseful? I'm going to look at it as being remorseful. I don't know what you see it as. You can leave that comment in the comment section of my video, how you feel about what she's doing. Um, Azeriel is still very young. She's a young woman. She really hasn't figured out what she wants to do with her life yet. So I don't really go in so hard on her, because we all were young and we made mistakes and along the way. And I try to keep young people more encouraged and tearing them down, even though they should be held accountable for some of their behavior so that you can correct them on their path. I'm not saying that, we should just give them a slap on the wrist, or, just ignore some of the, their defiant behavior or anything. There are some actions that should be taken for this, and there is some kind of punishment for that, of course. But I'm just saying, I'm not gonna, drag her and call her out of her name and say bad, nasty things about her, because I was a young woman myself and I made mistakes. And I said some things, horrible things with my mouth, out of my mouth. And I've heard a lot of people, I believe too, during my youth and in my time when I was about her age. And I'm not saying I was always such an angel. So I got to look back at some of the things I did too in my youth, and felt I should get away with it because I was young. No, you live and you learn from your mistakes. And if she is writing him, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's a good way of communicating with him and keeping his spirits lifted as well. So I wouldn't go so hard on the young lady, Azeriel. Now, her father, that's another thing. Parenting skills failed. Failed all the way. Parent acting like that on social media and talking about, especially a man, grown man, running around talking about breaking women's jaws and stuff. And there's a certain level of conversation you can have with people to get your point across, and be harsh and to be harsh about it. But there's some things you just don't make threats, body harm threats to someone, that you're going to hurt them for saying blah, 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 blah about your daughter, because your daughter was out there saying some nasty, disgusting things about other people as well, and said some bad things to about Robert Sylvester Kelly, who wasn't there to defend himself, of course, because he's incarcerated, made up a whole lot of lies about him, and went on his so-called enemy side and did some bad things, to this man. So, and a lot of fans and supporters were offended by that, because we feel connected to him in that way. We feel like we're part of him, because we're R. Kelly supporters and we're his fans. And some of us has been following him from the beginning of his career, like myself. I've been following him from the beginning of his career, and some of the things that's going on with him, it is hurting me. It's hurting me a lot, and I'm holding back a lot of things that I would like to say. But I got to think of more than just myself when I do say those things. Of course, I got to think about Robert. He's the one sitting in detention right now. I'm not. I have my freedom. So while I have it, I'm going to use it at, showing the best of me on his behalf, showing the best of me so that it won't affect him. It won't go on him. That's what I'm saying. That's why I hold back and I don't use certain language or come at people harshly. I could do that. Yes, I can. Some of you could go back and look at some videos that I did. And I of course, had to say some things to some people that were coming here to my live on my channel. I'm sorry, and saying some things to me. And I didn't feel I deserved that. So, of course, I'm going to defend myself. I don't really go to bother I try not to bother anybody. But if I do see something that is disturbing, I will call it out. I will call it out. All that stuff that took place in 2020 and 2019 and 2018 when this all started, that's all behind me. This is 2021. This is a new year, so I'm trying to start off in a new lens. I'm trying to see things differently. I am trying to, present myself a little different as I speak to you here on YouTube or here on my channel. If I'm live right now, I'm sorry if I can't interact with you. I still haven't got this thing together yet. So please continue to bear with me. Act like I'm I am so sorry. I was sitting here doing all this talking and I didn't realize my mic was off. Going back to what I was talking about is as in my title I was discussing Azeriel Clary. Is she's being remorseful to R. Kelly, or is she trying to get with R. Kelly? Whichever way the title is worded. I was just discussing that before. I didn't realize my mic was off. I just realized I just turned it on, and I was just talking about the young lady Azeriel. I was saying she could be being remorseful of being able to come to her senses, knowing that she did some bad things to this man, which he did not probably deserve for her to do it. She did it for a way of trying to get famous for herself, to get fame for herself, and publicity, I guess. Because when she first came on the scene, she was defending him on Gayle King. She let Gayle King know, no, whatever goes on in my bedroom is not none of your business. And, a lot of other things. Then she switched up on R. Kelly once he went in and he became arrested and he was taken in by the feds or whatever. Then she came out showing her brand new body and everything in the cameras, and she cursed out a few people, and then she came back, and then on his birthday she went and caused the scene, and she went and got into a fight with Joycelyn, and other things. And then she started saying things about R. Kelly being abusive to her and made her do some things like eating feces and stuff like that. So I guess she's right now coming to her senses. That's the way I'm going to look at it. I'm not going to look at things I saw in 2019, things I saw in 2020. I'm going to look at things now in a different lens in 2021. Well, that is behind us. So if she is coming to her senses and she is trying to be remorseful to this man, I applaud her for that. I give her credit for that, and I will encourage her to continue to stay on that path if that's what she's about. About getting with him, I doubt it. I doubt if R. Kelly and her will ever have a relationship. If they did have one in the past, I doubt it ever again that he will open his heart to trust her like that again after all he's going through and all he's been through of taking back lovers in his life that has done some bad things to him, that has hurt him, and he forgiven them and take them back in. You can forgive people, but you don't have to take them back, Robert. You can forgive them, wish them well, and just keep it moving. That's it. But taking them back, I don't know if that would be a good thing to do, because once people find that they find your weakness for them and everything, they take that as they take advantage of where you're vulnerable at. So you got to be really careful with forgiving and taking people back. But I don't see no problem with him restarting rekindling a friendship with them from a different angle. I don't see nothing wrong with that. That she's writing him while he's incarcerated. I don't really see anything wrong with that. That can bring some good hope to him. That she's writing and she's sharing with her thoughts to him and being apologetic to him of what she's doing, and that's a good step. And I think that finds that's the human heart. She's working with herself, and God bless her for doing that. If she's writing him, I'm not going to look at it and I'm not going to bash her for what she did in, like I said, 2019 and 2020. This is 2021, so we got to give people a chance, to change. Change don't come overnight. It's a process. So I'm not going to sit here and badmouth this young lady, because there's some things I did when I was in my youth that was foolish, and I wasn't good to myself, and I wasn't good to people at some point in my life, because I had a problem with my self-esteem. Yes, I did. But as I grew older and older, then I realized it's not my problem, it's their problem. If they worry about what I look like, because this is what God made me. He fashioned me in his own image, and this is his image that he gave me. So I keep a smile on my face, and I just keep it moving, stay confident and in love with, showing God's beauty or whatever. So I did have some issues growing up as a young lady, and being a black woman, growing up as a black woman and everything, being, ridiculed and made fun of because of my features of being broad or whatever like that. So, as I got older, I learned how to love, embrace it and love it and shine with it. And then once I got closer and closer to God, I know this is His creation. So it's their problem, not mine. That's why I can't really get into the discussion about colorism. I really don't try to get into that discussion because that's never going to change. Just going to be existing. That's just going to be a problem in our community for as long as we exist. For as long as we exist, there's always going to be a problem in our community. We just can't. We got it in our family. We have it among relatives or whatever. They're going to treat certain people better than certain individuals because of the complexion of their skin and or their finer features or whatever it is. But anyway, moving on back to my Azeriel story. We'll get into that some other time. But back to Azeriel. I just wanted to just say, I find her trying to be remorseful. And I find her trying to be apologetic for some of the things that she might have made mistakes doing in the past. And as a young woman, she's young, she's still growing. So we gotta, be patient with her. And yes, there should be some accountability. There is some, because of what she did. It's bad mouth. Yeah, you gotta take some kind of punishment for what you did, but we don't have to be harsh, and curse, and do all this other stuff. Because there's some things I don't like what they're doing to Robert Sylvester Kelly, so I hold back. Oh, it's a lot of stuff that want to come out of my mouth to say to some folks, but I hold back. Not because of me, but because of him. I do it on the behalf of Robert Sylvester Kelly because I want to see this man get his freedom, and I want people to represent him in a good way and in a good light. And I hold back the feelings that I have. I don't want to be too emotional and go off on some people like I want to, but I just hold back on the sake of Robert Sylvester Kelly, hoping that he will be granted favor in his trial and that the judge will, pardon him for whatever the situation is. Not the judge, but judge or whatever. But he will be vindicated for whatever the alleged crimes they're accusing him of. Because I didn't see him do anything wrong. Even from what they have said to the public and what they have shown, I don't see nothing that Robert did wrong to any of these alleged victims. And prayerfully that Azeriel will make that part of her statement, and I think that's probably something that she might be working on with herself. She doesn't want to play this game anymore. She wants to go on. She wants to be free. She wants to, become a new creature in Christ, or a creature in being as a person. She wants to become a better person. And I know a lot of people say, oh, you talk so highly of Azeriel all the time. Because she's young. Come on. She's young. She's young. I'm older. I can't be sitting up here being the age that I am, sitting here tearing down this young lady, and I have some dirt in the back of my background too that I did as a young woman. So why would I sit here, whether I know her or she knows me, on the sake? I don't know what really transpired or what happened in her relationship really with Azeriel and Robert Sylvester Kelly. I'm just here supporting the man for the crime that he's being accused of. I'm supporting him because I don't feel that they're doing him right and justly for having him being held so long in bond, making up and chumping up all these charges and the things they did to him. Of course, I feel bad for him being treated that way. And I enjoy his music or whatever. But as far as being in his personal space and being around him in his relationships, I was not there to witness any of the things that these women might have had in their relationship, or their breakup of their relationship or whatever. I don't know what went on in their relationship, and I don't really care to know because I got my own issues going on with my own relationship at times, But that's their personal life. That's private, and that's between him, the women, and his God. and his God. But I can look at myself, and I can look back at some of the things I did as a young person. I'm not the same young girl I used to be when I was 22, 23 years old. I'm 54 years old now. So what I look like now, telling this dude, 22, 23, cussing out this 22, 23 years old, whether she was with a superstar or not. And I know she done some horrible stuff. Yes, she did. She said some horrible things about this man, and she put some horrible things out there to the public about this man, and all the ruckus she caused and the recklessness she caused. But there is forgiveness, and we forgive and we move on, and we pray for her, and we forgive ourselves, and we forgive her as well. Okay, that's all I'm just saying. And I believe she is probably trying to be remorseful, because the last I'm sorry, the last video when she did that foxhole or whatever video she did with that interview, she looked really worn out. She didn't look as fresh and as clean. She just looked real tired and worn out or whatever. So I'm pretty sure she's coming to her senses now. As far as her dad, bad parenting skills, please, I don't even want to discuss him. A grown man getting on YouTube videos, call himself defending his child or whatever, talking that way, and then especially when he making bodily harm threats to women and defending his daughter and want to beat up a woman. I mean, really. I don't care what they said about your daughter. Your daughter, she could defend herself. She know how to handle herself, sir. Okay. Anyway, I'm not going to stay much longer with y'all with this live or this video that I'm doing, because I really don't got this thing all figured out yet. But if God's willing, I will come back with you soon if anything else comes up. But my topic is on, is Azeriel Clary being remorseful, or is she trying to get back with Robert Sylvester Kelly? Tell me what you think in your comment section. You all have a blessed, wonderful Tuesday. And if God's willing, like I said, I'll be back if there's anything else that comes up that we can discuss. Love you. Peace.